So, so HD, do you remember I was talking about my wife can't cook in the process to getting her to learn how to cook?
No, I don't remember, but enlighten me, sir.
Yeah, she couldn't cook. Probably could burn water initially.
You can actually burn water. Why do people say that? I do that shit all the time.
Probably could burn
I
water
don't
initially.
think necessarily you can burn water. It's just
The
that
pan,
you can
the water
evaporate so much
evaporates and the
water
pan burns.
that it
Yeah.
begins to burn whatever it is that you were
My dumb
cooking.
ass be thinking it's water that goes in there to make something go sizzle instead of oil. So by the time I go in the fridge, I smell something burning. The water's gone. It evaporated. I'm like, oh shit.
Like y'all,
But,
look, I saw it.
but
So
hold on, let me just finish this one part. So look, HD, I explained how I actually cared about eating food that she prepared and what that meant to me, and we worked on the solution, which is where HelloFresh came in. Got recipes that sent all the ingredients, and then she began to get over the hump, and now she enjoys them to the point that she creates the food preparation where she's with the garnishments and all of that stuff. But it was a step from beginning to end, and the patience to continue to work on it and walk through it. I think that's in general how things should go. Like, okay, you might be at this point, you're not happy with this, or you don't even care, but then you realize you care and you want to change that thing. You have to take incremental steps moving forward. Everything is incremental steps. And all right, can you explain this to me? Why is it necessary to diminish something? That I never understood that. My brain doesn't really work in that way. Because I heard people say, like, you only tell me the good. Why you don't tell me the bad? And I'm like, and I think I consider like complaining if I I stubbed my toe this morning. Like, so I think the way I want to hear stuff is the way I speak. But you would have to enlighten me on why someone would necessarily need to hear negativity.
Well, I will say this. I don't think that is necessarily the need to hear negativity. It's just that I use myself as an example. When I walk into a room, everybody can say that that room looks nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And immediately that somebody says something, my eye immediately focus on the issue of the room. This wall not straight. This got a hole, the outlet loose, and stuff like that. And sometimes when you have a lot of men have this proclivity that we're problem solvers. If you already present a fixed thing, he's not really going to be focused on the thing that's already done and fixed and good. He needs a project to be like focus on something that is an issue. And that's the reason why issue content is the most profitable content. Like all the dramas and all this stuff. The reason why it's so great to people is because, issues are a lot more intriguing. Because if you got something with no issues, you see a clean wall, everything's perfect. You'd be like, oh, and eventually you're going to get tired of seeing that perfect wall. You want to go find a problem. Happens all the time. It's
My
just
brain
like,
just doesn't work that way. Like when I see something fixed, I'm at rest. Like I'd be like, all right, cool, nothing to do. I can sit here and bask and just, you know what I'm saying? Like I can sit still.
I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Eventually, if they only see things that are perfect and at peace, eventually they're just gonna be like, it becomes so normalized that it becomes boring, and then they seek the opposite. Now, I'm not saying that that's something that you would do, but oftentimes, like, it's even when you bring up the debates of like LeBron and stuff like that. Many people be like, "Yo, how is he making and doing these numbers for this long?"
Mm-hmm.
But when you're watching it, you're just like, "Ugh, that's just LeBron. It don't really matter because you didn't seen it so long. You're just like, I'm tired of seeing this." I'm not saying you are like that, but the people at large, you continue to see the same thing of success over and over again. Tom Brady, this dude is the GOAT. He done won more, even with like cheating, two cheating scandals and this, that, and the third. He still went to win more rings, and then he went to a whole new place and still won. Right?
What cheating?
I mean, listen, bro, and then people got tired of him, but it's just like at some point you just realize, like, yo, like people are naturally drawn to issues. because it actually gives them something to do. Versus if everything is taken care of, then they're like, what am I doing here?
So the way my brain works, honestly, this is interesting to me. The way I try and look for a solution to the problem, so I don't have to deal with the problem. Like I'll see something happening, and I'll be like, you know what, XYZ is probably going to occur based off of this. So I'll just skip this timeline. XY will occur right here. I'll skip that timeline. X occurs. I'll skip that timeline. There's no issue right here. Okay, this is what I want to do. Quickest A to B, and then I don't have to deal with any of this in between. Like I don't want a problem. I want no problems. I want peace. I want to be able to relax, enjoy life, and live like a hippie. I just want to be just radiating positive energy and love and everything going well if I could have it that way. I You know how people be like, you need darkness to appreciate light. I get it, but I just need light. I'm gonna keep it real. I just if I could just have straight light, I'd be extremely happy, like more happy than anybody can understand. Like I
But
don't.
you recognize too that people in the dark don't recognize that they may necessarily need light until they have it. Dark become normal
You're right.
until you experience something different. You know what I mean?
Man,
So it is a toss up. And then sometimes people who have that love don't appreciate it because it's just the expectation. That's what they're used to until they experience, the opposite of that. You know what I mean? Then it's like, oh damn. Okay, I really appreciate this. I'd rather have this. So sometimes is necessary to, because I think that helps with your growth as well. Is experience, and not saying that you need to experience anything. A wise person would be able to learn from the experiences of others. A lot of us aren't wise though.
listen, you know how
You
gangster
slow
that
down.
analogy is that, if you're in the dark too long, your eyes will begin to fixate to that climate and you'll be able to see better. Versus if you were, the opposite, if you were in a dark and brightness, eventually after you get initially blinded, your eyes will attune to the light. That's a very astute example. But I think the way that my mind operates is I know what the perfect line is, and I attribute this to like percussion. We got these kids from ages 10, 13, 15, all the way up to like 17, 18 in our like high school line, right? And when they play things, I get so fixated on the one thing that wasn't right. Literally, they could have played everything really good. But if this particular technique is off, or I want perfection to some degree so bad that when I hear it, I'm just so sad. When I hear the lack of perfection, it just make me
Oh,
sad. And it
okay.
make me want to figure out, why can't we get you to do this? Because I'm also speaking from a point of I didn't spend so much time and built up these habits that it's second nature to me. I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can I replicate me in these kids? Right.
Mhm.
And that's been the challenge, because some kids get it, and I realize all the kids ain't gonna be sweet. Cool, fantastic. But when they play together, I don't care that everybody ain't gonna be quote unquote sweet. I need, when y'all are together, that y'all care about each other enough that when y'all play together, y'all sound like one drum. Because there's nothing more attractive to me, or just a beautiful sound, than when a snare line is playing this double stroke roll and it sound like one drum. And I'm like, oh my God, it's and it just pains me to hear just one little tick in the back, and it just it makes me sick.
Makes me sick.